Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Impressive Channel. Usher is out here breaking more homes, allegedly. There was this clip that went viral of him seducing one of his fans, and the woman looked like she wanted to risk it all. I mean, she was yearning bad. It was cringy to watch because she was doing a lot. Come to find out, people are out here saying that she had a whole husband back at home. Now, these are unfounded rumors, but the rumor is her husband filed for divorce from her, and her husband claims that the woman never kissed him in public, and he was shocked that she could do all that to a complete stranger in the presence of 20,000 people. Now, once again, these are unfounded rumors. It hasn't been confirmed to be true or not, but it wouldn't surprise me because Usher has been causing havoc in marriages for a while now, okay? He's been breaking up relationships. We all saw what happened with Keke Palmer and her baby daddy, Darius. Y'all know it was Usher's fault. It was all Usher's fault. I'm just kidding, but seriously, Usher has been really causing havoc in relationships. There was an animator for the Boondocks who actually said that Usher mesmerized his ex-wife, and the situation actually inspired that Boondocks episode.
And so we all went out to eat, and we were having a good time, and we got into this conversation about the R. Kelly episode, right? My ex-wife, she did not like that episode. And we're at the table, and she just like goes off about it, right? But then Usher walks into the restaurant, and all of a sudden she lights up, and she starts like, you know, she's smiling and like, you know what I'm saying, like blushing and all this stuff. And I'm like, what is going on? I didn't even realize Usher walked in. I just noticed that she was all of a sudden in a great mood. And then so I looked over and I saw Usher was like sitting right behind us, and she was like turned around, like trying to get his attention and waving and stuff like that. So I'm like, I'm extremely embarrassed at this point. I was already embarrassed with the R. Kelly, so I'm like extremely embarrassed at this point. And then so we got ready to leave and we headed towards the door. And I remember I turned around and looked back, and she was over at his table. So it was a long ride home, right? And then the next day I came into the office, and they were like, we putting that in the show. That's going in the show.
Usher is always at the scene of the crime, I'm telling you. And his wife is probably the strongest woman ever, because the way he be acting up at his shows, I don't know. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. Now, moving on, the actor Terrance Howard said that P. Diddy tried to sleep with him. Now, is that a surprise? It shouldn't be at this point, because Diddy was coming for everybody. And Cat Williams wasn't lying when he said this.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no.
Exactly. You got to tell him no, because there's a high chance that you might end up getting your hole snatched. Now, some people give it up freely, while others have to find out the hard way. Now, the actor Columbus Short did tell stories about going to Diddy's parties. He did say that one time he got drugged and he escaped, and another time Diddy was trying to invite him over early in the morning, and Columbus was like, absolutely not. Columbus basically said that Diddy was low-key trying to groom him to sleep with him.
And then Diddy called me one day after I did Cadillac Records. He came to the premiere of Cadillac Records in New York, and he was like, man, you killed that. He said, I'm up for this movie. He's like, I need an acting coach, man. So I put him with my acting coach. So I think it was just now, looking back, it's like the groomage, right?
Yeah.
So I was, the BET Awards were happening in town. I didn't go because I wasn't nominated. Phone ring, this is an unknown number. I said, who is this? It's Sean. I'm like, Sean? It's Puff. So I was like, hey, what's good? I said, what's cracking? He said, we didn't see you tonight at the BET Awards. He said, oh yeah, we over here at the he said, I'm over here at the Beverly Hills Hotel. I said, oh, for real? So who over there? Just me. Hell no, I didn't go. It's crazy. It's ridiculous when I look like going to a grown man's hotel room in the middle of the night.
Terrance Howard also told a story of how Diddy was trying to sleep with him too.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, you know, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way.
Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no.
I mean, now that we hear these stories about Diddy, it really, really doesn't shock me at all. But it does add more proof that he had a predatory nature about him. You notice that he wasn't going for guys who showed interest in him. And you notice that he didn't make his motives clear up front. Like, he could have been honest and said, hey, I like you, I want you. But nah, he was on the slide trying to snatch that hole. That's what he was trying to do. And that's why he has all these lawsuits against him now, because he was moving like a predator. And he might not be guilty of everything he's been accused of, but he has done a lot of things, and people in Hollywood have a lot of stories about it. Now, I want to get into this topic because Lizzo is currently getting ate up after claiming that Britney Spears is doing a Janet impression. And also, Madonna fans were upset that she called Janet the queen of pop.
People came for me on the internet because I said Janet Jackson is the queen of pop. Britney Spears is doing a Janet impression. And she said it.
Clock that!
Janet is her diva.
Yeah, for sure.
There were no such things as pop divas before Janet. Janet was first. She was famous when Madonna was a kid watching her on television.
Yeah.
And I'm just putting it out there. It's not because someone is better than the other. She was just first. And she is Janet. She invented this shit.
Yeah.
Now, Madonna is the pop icon.
Yes.
And I love Madonna.
Yeah.
And we can't refute her influence and what she's done for pop music and for all of the divas. She's birthed a generation.
Now, Lizzo did get a lot of backlash for what she said. And I will say this, even though there's some things I disagree with, everything she said wasn't wrong. I mean, a lot of artists today follow Janet's blueprint. Janet was the female Michael Jackson. And yes, she was the first out of her peer group to be a star. Now, I don't think Madonna was a child watching her on TV, because Madonna is older than Janet, but Madonna was absolutely aware of Janet's family, the Jacksons. I mean, Janet was on stage as a kid, dancing with her brothers, tap dancing with Michael, acting like she was the first female pop star of her peer group. Now, Madonna has been given the Queen of Pop title because she is more successful than Janet, and that's okay. She's had a big impact. It's okay to acknowledge her as the Queen of Pop, but personally, I think the title goes to Janet, and arguably Whitney Houston too, because Whitney herself has elevated the standard of singing, and she helped redefine what a female pop star looks like. So both Whitney and Janet should technically share the Queen of Pop status, but since this video is about Janet, I'm going to keep it about that. Now, I will say Lizzo misspoke when she said Janet was the first pop diva. Janet might have been the first in her peer group, but after doing some research, I think it's safe to say that Diana Ross was the first pop diva. She came from one of the biggest pop girl groups in history. She became one of the biggest pop solo artists in the 70s. She was a performer, singer, actress, Oscar-nominated actress for that matter. And she was a fashion icon. So yeah, she laid down the blueprint, and Janet followed that blueprint, but she took it in a different direction. She actually helped bring in that performance factor, the dance factor. She, along with her brother Michael, elevated visual art in music. She experimented with different genres, and she broke Billboard records. This is why MTV gave her an icon tribute, because of her tremendous impact, especially on the Y2K pop stars that came on the scene, like Britney Spears.
When I was younger, Janet Jackson was a big inspiration to me. I remember seeing her If video for the first time, and I was like, I want to be like her. Yeah, I thought she was very cool. I remember I met Janet for the first time. She was meeting me after one of my shows, and I was coming off the stage all sweaty and stuff. I was like, hi, it's nice to meet you. And she was like so sweet, such a doll. Yeah, so tiny, yeah.
You know, I wound up meeting, I met Britney just a few days ago.
Just a couple days ago. How did that go?
I saw her show, and one of my best friends is dancing with her, Gil, and she said that I inspired her a great deal, and that's so flattering for me. Yeah.
She actually covered Black Cat, I believe, in one of her concerts as well. I know she's a big fan.
I heard about that, yes.
Now, I want to get into this Britney part because I think Lizzo was pretty dismissive when she just said Britney was doing a Janet impression. Now, let's be very clear. Britney is heavily influenced by Janet, from her singing style to her dance and performing style. That is an absolute fact. Britney is Janet's daughter, period. But making it seem like Britney is an impersonator really diminishes what she did and what she accomplished in her career. Saying that she's a Janet impersonator is like saying that Lady Gaga is a Madonna impersonator or Beyonce is a Tina Turner impersonator. Just because the influences are there doesn't mean she hasn't carved out a lane for herself and she hasn't been an influence on a new generation. So I think that was a very musically unsound opinion from Lizzo, but she's not wrong about Janet's impact, and I don't like how people try to downplay Janet just to debunk what Lizzo was saying. I think the Janet disrespect is crazy. And I do know that her being blackballed for 10 years affected the way people acknowledge her. I mean, after that Super Bowl incident, she was really blackballed from Viacom, MTV, VH1, everywhere for the most part. Even her music was getting blackballed. So it's not really surprising that people don't understand her impact because she's not really celebrated in the same way as her peers. But Janet is highly influential, and in my opinion, she is the queen of pop. She not only had an influence on pop music, but R&B music as well. And I do appreciate the fact that a lot of R&B artists really do give Janet her flowers and they take inspiration from her as well. But yeah, I don't think Lizzo was really all that wrong about what she said in regards to Janet, but I do think her opinion on Britney Spears was a bit off. But anyway, tell me what y'all think about this video down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.